Good morning, happy Monday. Welcome, and hopefully we're starting the week high energy. Today we are going to get started with a really dynamic, full body, strong flow. So get ready in these 20-30 minutes short flow to get sweaty and to work the whole body, get heated. We're actually going to start directly on our backs and we're going to get straight to it. We're going to start with some core. On your backs, grab both knees, bringing them both in towards your chest. Trying to relax the shoulders, the head, sides of the neck. So you're bringing your knees towards yourself rather than the torso towards your legs. And you might want to sway from side to side. Just for a second or so as we start landing on our mats in this space. And shortly we'll start maybe closing your eyes, taking deep breaths. And gently we'll start bringing our knees into center, lengthening the left towards the front of the mat. Let the leg hover over the mat. Without letting your low back arch, lift the shoulders off of the mat, pressing the belly button down into the ground, arms forward. From here, with the rhythm of our breath, so doing it gently, mindfully, we're going to switch legs. We're going to do 16. Continue at your own pace, switching from side to side. Try not to lower your shoulders. If it's too much, you can lower your shoulders. And continue with only your legs. 8 more. Two, and last one. Bring the right knee in, hugging both knees into the chest. Lengthening both legs up towards the ceiling. It's okay if your knees are slightly bent because you are too tight on the backs of your legs. We're just going to try to bring our feet over our hips. Pressing our arms next to our sides. Pulling the belly button down towards the ground, so not letting the low back arch. Either, 2 options here. Either we're going to scissor our legs, lowering one and switch, or we're going to lower both legs down. Again, we're going to do 16 in total. So feel free to do your own modification. And we'll start. Your legs hover over the ground. If it feels sort of hard to not let your low back pop, you can place your hands under your hips. If not, continue at your own pace, the pace of your breath. 8 more. If you're doing the scissors, switch sides. Remember to breathe. Last 2. And 1. Once again, lift the legs, bending the knees, bringing both knees into the chest. So from here, we're going to rock and roll into Navasana. Stop ourselves in Navasana using the core, lengthening the spine, and rock and roll back. So we're going to do 12 of those. Hugging our knees in, rock, and come up, Navasana. And back down. Stopping ourselves with a straight, long back. Using that low belly energy to stop yourself. Holding a long spine. 8 more. Trying to land in a nice Navasana, so not just rushing through them. Finding a long spine. lifting the legs as feels right for you today. 4 more. Two, last one. And hold your Navasana. We're gonna hold it for 5 breaths. Remember to breathe, lengthen through the crown of the head, and feel the sits bones grounding. For 3, 2, and release down. Placing your hands in front of you. Hopefully we're starting to create some heat. Warm up the body. And we'll meet in tabletop position. Lengthening the left leg back. Placing all toes onto the mat. Lifting the right arm next to the ear. Maybe you'll stay here, maybe you'll lift the leg. Feeling both sides of the hips square. And maybe you'll stay here, or we're going to take 6 crunches. Taking the elbow towards the knee, under the torso, rounding the back, and lengthen. 5 more. Exhale as you crunch. Inhale as you lengthen, creating space. Pushing the hand against the mat to not collapse on your shoulder. Last 2. Last one. And lengthen, dropping the hand, dropping the leg. Keeping the hands as they are. We're going to do fire hydrants with the left leg, same leg. Opening the knee out to the side, trying to lift the knee all the way to hips level and lower. We're going to do 8. Trying to keep the torso facing down. Six. Last 2, 7. And last one, 8. Coming back through center, other side, lengthen the right leg back. Reach the left arm next to the ear, forward. Pushing the right hand away from you, maybe lifting the right leg up. And if you're going for the crunches, here we go. Exhale as you bring elbow towards the knee. Inhale as you create space, leg continue. Rounding the back, feeling as the belly button pushes against the spine. Last 3. Last 2. And then the last one, lengthen, dropping the hand, dropping the leg, tabletop position. Fire hydrants with the right leg. Opening the right knee out to the side. Flexing the foot, almost as if you wanted to push through the heel as well. And lower. 7 more. Outer hip engages. Knee lifts all the way to hips level and lowers. Last 3. And last one. We'll meet in tabletop position, pressing your toes against the mat, lifting the hips up, downward facing dog. Take a second or so, 15 seconds or so, to wiggle, fidget as you feel. And we'll meet in just a second in a neutral downward facing dog. Sits bones reaching up towards the ceiling. Spine lengthens. And we'll separate our feet a little wider than hip width. We're going to walk our hands back towards our feet as we drop our heels, coming into Malasana. Hands in front of our heart as we press the elbows against the knees, opening the chest, lifting through the heart. And walk the hands back, downward facing dog. Lifting the right knee up towards the ceiling, open the hip, bend the knee, reaching the heel towards the glute. And closing it off, bringing the right knee into the nose, placing the foot between both hands. Bringing both arms next to the ears, what I like to call 30-degree lunge. Lifting the torso 30 degrees. Imagine one line of energy through the tips of your fingers all the way to the back of your heel. Hold. And lower. Step it back. Plank pose. Downward facing dog. Other side. Lift the left leg up. Open the hip. Bend the knee. Reaching the heel towards the left glute as you release that front of the hip. And gently closing it off, bringing the left knee into the nose, placing the foot between both hands, lifting the arms next to the ears, lifting the torso 30 degrees, halfway up. Left hip crease pulls back, hold for 3, 2, and lower the hands down, step back, plank pose, downward facing dog. Separating your feet once again a little wider than hip width. We're going to walk our hands back, dropping our hips down towards the ground, Malasana. This time, we're going to lengthen our arms next to the ears and lift 1 inch, lift our hips 1 inch and hold. We're going to hold for 5 breaths. Feel the glutes, the outer hips engage, hamstrings. Feel the fire. Be with it and breathe into it. For 3, 2, and lower back, Malasana. Hands in front of the heart, walking your hands back into downward facing dog. Bringing your feet hip width apart. Shifting your shoulders over your wrists, plank pose. Lower your knees down. Lower halfway, plank, chaturanga. Lower the heart all the way down with the chin and slide through cobra. Placing your toes down, downward facing dog. Let's add on to this. Shift forward, plank pose, either knees on the mat or not. Lower halfway, chaturanga. Flip the feet wherever you are, either cobra or up dog. Flip the toes once again, downward facing dog. Let's continue adding on to it. Plank pose. Either knees on the mat or not. If you're dropping the hips, place the knees on the mat. Lower halfway, hold, chaturanga. Push yourself up, plank. One more time, lower halfway, elbows tucked in, chaturanga. Flip the feet, lift the chest. Either cobra or up dog. Flipping the feet once again. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward. Step or float towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. 1 Surya Namaskar to make sure we have our blood flowing. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands next to the feet, step or float back through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or float towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We'll do it one more time, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, swan dive down. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, planting the hands next to the feet, step or float back through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. downward facing dog. From down dog, shift your shoulders over your wrists, plank pose. Hold. You're going to lower onto your forearms, forearm plank, keeping the forearms parallel to each other. If not, elbows shoulder width apart and hands interlaced. If you can, keep your arms parallel. And we're going to come onto the edge of the right foot, lifting the left arm, placing the hand on the hip as you bring the right forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Lifting the hips, forearm plank. Holding for 3, 2, coming back through forearm plank. Other side, coming onto the edge of the left foot, placing the left arm down, right arm, right hand on the hips, and lift the hips up. Forearm plank. Side forearm plank. Coming back once again, forearm plank through center. Hands parallel to each other or hands interlaced. Shifting the hips up into dolphin. Walking your feet a little as you press the heart back. Bending the knees, shifting the hips up. Pressing the heart back. And now we're going to press through our hands, lifting both forearms at the same time. Downward facing dog. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the knees. Look forward, step or float towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, arms up. Coming into Utkatasana chair pose. Shifting the hips down. If we look down into our toes, our knees are behind our toe. Holding for 3, 2, and fold over. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands next to the feet, step or float back. Again, through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Stepping the right foot between both hands. Rolling the back heel down, keeping the foot at a 30-degree angle, warrior 1 on the right side. Trying to really press the back edge of the foot onto the mat. Looking forward, inhale, and lower both hands down. Step the right foot back, plank pose. Lower halfway, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Other side. Left knee into the nose, placing the foot as smoothly as possible between both hands. Warrior 1 on the left side. Belly button in and up. So we're not just splurging the torso out. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower the hands down. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Lower halfway, chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Three breaths here. And then the next exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, drop the hips, chair pose. Inhale. On the exhale, hands in front of the heart, lengthen the legs out. Last chair pose. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair. We're going to shift the weight towards the right foot, lifting the left heel towards our glute, one step at a time. Hold here. As you lengthen the left leg back, placing the foot for crescent lunge. Bending the back knee a little, Keeping both hips square, facing forward, arms are long. Placing the right hand onto the right hip, taking the left arm towards the right, lengthening the left side of the body. Feeling that left frontal hip open. And back through center, lengthen both arms next to our ears. Step the left foot to meet the right, Utkatasana, chair pose. Other side. Lift the right heel towards the right glute. Hold. And begin to lengthen the right leg back, crescent lunge. Making sure we bend the back knee a little to really square off the hips. Arms are long next to our ears. Placing the left hand onto the left hip, reaching the right arm towards the left. And back through center, lengthening both arms next to our ears. Stepping the right foot to meet the left. Keeping the chair, last second. Inhale and lengthen it all out, bringing the hands in front of the heart. So by now, I think we're feeling the fire. Let's continue for a little more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, place your hands next to your feet. Step or float back through your vinyasa. Or directly into your down dog. If you're done with vinyasas for today. From down dog, lift the right leg up. Bring the right knee into the nose and hold. Lift the leg, lift the shin, and place the foot between both hands. Crescent lunge. Arms next to the ears, lift the torso. Making sure both hips are squared, and from here we're going to lower the torso 30 degrees. Hold in here. Imagine that we're pulling through the crown of your head forward, all the way till you begin to lift the back foot, warrior 3. Pressing through the back heel, micro bending the standing leg to make sure you're more stable, and step the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, plant the hands next to the feet, step or float back through your vinyasa. Or skip it altogether. Other side, lift the left leg up. Bring the left knee into the nose, pressing the shin up, making sure you don't drop the hips, and place the foot between both hands. Lifting the torso up, crescent lunge. Both hips are facing forward, arms next to the ears, belly button in and up. And keeping that stability in the torso, lower halfway 30 degrees. As you begin to feel pulled through the crown of the head, shifting into warrior 3 on the left side. Inhale. And bring both feet together, lift the torso. Tadasana, hands in front of the heart. Flow man downward facing dog. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, plant the hands next to the feet, step or float back, plank pose. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. From down dog, you're going to bend your knees, look forward, and this time you're going to hop your feet outside of your hands like a little frog, hopping into Malasana. Dropping the hips. Once again, lengthening the arms next to the ears, lifting 1 inch. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and back into Malasana, hands in front of the heart. Placing your sits bones down, Navasana. Lifting the shins, arms next to the legs, long spine. If this is too much, you can place your hands behind your knees to support or hands behind you. So we're going to move dynamically and do it 3 times. From here, on the exhale, we're going to lengthen out Ardha Navasana. Half boat pose, pressing the belly button down. From Ardha, you're going to lengthen your arms behind you, next to your ears. Arms back to the front, and Navasana. 2 more. From Ardha Navasana, lengthen the legs, lengthen the arms forward, and lift. The last one. Lengthen the legs, reach the arms back, arms forward, and lift. Hold, Navasana. And cross the feet, place the hands in front of you, step back, downward facing dog. We're almost done. Placing the knees onto the mat from down dog, reaching your sits bones towards your heels, child's pose. As you press the forehead against the mat, if that feels right, realigning with your breath. Walking both hands towards the right, lengthening the left side of the body, reaching the left hand a little farther out. And coming back through center, other side, reaching both arms towards the left. Lengthening, walking that right hand a little farther, feeling the stretch in the right side of the body. And finally back through center. Stay here as long as you feel, or come onto your backs. Take a Shavasana as long as you can, and enjoy all the goodness of all that fire that we built. Thank you for joining today. Hope you enjoyed. For the full class, always remember to check out the YouTube channel for the 60-minute or longer version of the class. Hope you enjoyed. Namaste.